Talk now to Lesia Vasylenko, a Ukrainian MP who joins us from Europe. Lesia, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for joining us. This week has been particularly tough in Ukraine. We had developments from Bucha last week, an attack on a rail station filled with civilians which killed at least 50 people. How are you doing? How has your week been?
My week has been as tough as the week of all Ukrainians who have heard about the Bucha massacres, who have read the news about all of the other atrocities committed by the Russian army, especially the ones that have shifted to the east of Ukraine now, with the Kramatorsk station bombing. And it was just every day being a tough day for the people living in the towns and villages across Luhansk and Donetsk region, where now the Russian army is committing their war crimes. But at the same time, this week has brought hope. I am today indeed very lucky because I'm able to visit my children just for a couple of hours, and this is why you hear a lot of noise in the background, for which I apologize.
No, don't apologise at all. The fact you're able to visit your children is amazing. What has allowed you to do that without, I don't want to put anyone at risk or put you at risk or jeopardise any safety, but can you explain why you're only able to see them for a couple of hours?
Well, I've sent my children away to safety, and hopefully with them able to have a normal childhood. I'd like to say, and I'd like to think that they have a normal childhood, but already because they spent a week under the sirens and under the bombs, that already has taken a lot of their calmness and just normality out of their life. And the fact that they see me only like the second time in 1.5 months has also taken the normality out of their life. So for me, it's about finding that spot and that break when I can come and spend just some time with them. It's a lot already. It's much more than many other mothers have in Ukraine. And it's much more than many people have in Ukraine when they are forced to live with their children in the basements because they are still sheltering from the bomb attacks, such as like the people in Mariupol, in Izium, and in other towns of the Kharkiv, Donetsk, and Luhansk regions.
Yeah. How important, how significant was the visit of the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson?
Oh, extremely important. The political support is as important as the military support, as the sanctions. To have a leader like Boris Johnson in Kyiv, in the streets of Kyiv, openly walking shoulder to shoulder with President Zelensky, it's just such a sign of support and such an encouragement to the Ukrainian people who are volunteering, who are just staying put in their towns and cities, to the army of Ukraine. It just shows that Ukraine is not alone in this struggle and is not alone fighting this aggression of Russia. And I just wish that more leaders would be there on the ground in Ukraine, in Kyiv, with President Zelensky. I would urge President Biden, I would urge President Macron, Councillor Olaf Scholz to all come to Ukraine and to do the same, to follow in the footsteps of Boris Johnson and Ursula von der Leyen, because the support, the political support, cannot be diminished in any way. It means a lot to the Ukrainian people, and it's also a strong sign which is being sent to President Putin and all of the Russian army that the world is with Ukraine.
Yeah. I want to let you just have a listen to this while you're with us, Lesia. This is a clip from an interview earlier today on our radio station. We heard from Tobias Ellwood, who is a Conservative MP, the same party as Boris Johnson, here in the UK Parliament. And crucially, he is also the chair of the Defence Committee in the UK Parliament. He blamed the situation in Ukraine on NATO's timidity. Let's have a listen.
Our timidity that I spoke of has actually given Putin the green light. He's recognised that he can exploit how hesitant we've become, not wishing to cross that line, hiding behind that NATO curtain, if you like. And therefore, we've actually given Putin free rein to conduct war crimes, to conduct breaches of the Geneva Conventions, to conduct a genocide on the scale that we've seen.
That is Tobias Ellwood, Conservative MP. I want to just put that to you, Lesia, in terms of NATO's actions. I saw you tweeting earlier today that there is a stark choice for NATO member states to make.
absolutely. I mean, I know Tobias's position very well. He is a dear friend, and he has been to Ukraine just days before the war. We have met, we have had discussions with him about what more needs to be done from the UK, but also from the part of NATO member states and from the part of UN member states. And I share his view absolutely that not just NATO, but also the UN, they haven't done enough. And if NATO at least has a bit of an excuse, saying that Ukraine is not a member state of NATO, that they do not have obligations towards us, then the UN has no such excuse, because Ukraine is a member state of the UN. Moreover, Ukraine is a founding member state of the UN. And another member state of the UN, Russian Federation, has committed a crime, an act of aggression against Ukraine. And at that, it's the responsibility of the international community, of the other UN member states, to stand up and to deploy a peacekeeping mission to Ukraine. It so happens that a lot of these UN member states who are able to actually do something, they are also NATO member states. But that doesn't change the situation. We need boots here on the ground. We need peacekeeping force that can actually cover the humanitarian convoys which are going into the siege cities, help evacuate people who are trying to leave the east but are being shot by Russian artillery, that are being shot by Russian missiles. And we need boots on the ground to help cover the Ukrainian farmers who are now desperately trying to prevent a global food crisis from happening. And we need boots on the ground to help cover all the hazardous facilities that are located in Ukraine, such as the nuclear power stations. So there's a lot of work to be done, not just from a military perspective, but first and foremost from a humanitarian perspective. And it's the duty of the international community to act accordingly, according to the UN statute and according to the responsibility to protect that is prescribed within. And it's very, very sad that the international community is just standing by on the sidelines and watching what is happening in Ukraine, the atrocities, the war crimes, as if it was a Netflix documentary. I understand that it is a very engaging Netflix documentary to watch, and you can even place bets on who is to win, but that is not why the UN was set up, and that is not what the international community has taken duties and responsibilities to do.
Lesia, we're always very grateful for the clarity and passion with which you speak and for giving your time, especially on a day when you're visiting your children. So thank you for taking the time to speak to us. It's really good to see you and to speak to you.
Thank you.